Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Nerdarchus Ryan, and today I am joined by
Dave.
Ted.
And today we're going to do one of our Monster BFF segments, talking about the Sturges rally and the Scarecrow, the construct monster from the Monster Manual. What pages will we find
So
these guys
Scarecrow is on 268 out of your trusty Monster Manual.
And we got 284 for the Sturges.
So we got a great combination here because Sturges drink blood, Scarecrows
Don't have
any.
They don't have any
So
blood.
they make a perfect pairing of why the Sturges is not going to try and eat the Scarecrow, and the Scarecrow could kind of care less about the Sturges.
Right, and they're clearly not crows, so the Scarecrow's not trying to scare away the Sturges.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
Sturges have always been like one of my favorite monsters since the earliest days of Dungeons and Dragons.
They're a great low-level a monster to throw at your low-level parties, but apparently in this edition still hold up pretty well even against 10th level parties. So there's that.
Well, I find most of the monsters hold up in this edition throughout the levels.
Indeed. So the Sturges, what's their CR or their challenge?
The challenge rating on a Sturge is a mere 1/8, 25 XP.
So 1/8, and the Scarecrow was only a 1 for 200. So you're not going to throw a bunch of Sturges and a Scarecrow at a real low level party because they're not going to be able to handle all of the damage output. But you have something from 3 through 5th.
This is a good mid-level encounter.
You can put a good, solid, memorable encounter out there with these guys, and it can send them terrifying.
And the Scarecrows, they have intelligence, right? They understand a language they don't speak.
Yeah, they have a 10 intelligence. So I mean, they're as smart as a commoner.
Yeah, so they can manipulate, well, an average human, but
Average human.
they can manipulate basically the battlefield with using the Sturges, because again, like we said, the Sturges don't care about the Scarecrow. It's not a food source. And if for whatever reason the Scarecrow has no reason to attack the Sturges, then it's just going to probably ignore them for the most part, or possibly even use them tactically.
Right. Yeah.
And the great part is if it uses its terrifying glare, it can paralyze one of the players if they fail their wisdom save, and then the Sturges just sink in and feed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, a Sturge will only eat like 5 hit points worth of damage or something, and then they leave because their bellies are full.
Yeah. Well, so what I like when you're setting up this encounter, you could have the Sturges flying overhead, like in the players, because they're engaged or investigating the Scarecrow, they see like the shadows of flying creatures going overhead. But if you make it almost where they kind of assume it's just crows or something,
or bats.
Yeah. Like, so it's just like something that would ambiently be in the field.
So you'd want this to be an encounter at night.
Yeah.
And if you're ever going to use a Scarecrow, it says when it's not moving, it's indistinguishable from a regular inanimate Scarecrow. So you have to have more than one Scarecrow. You can't just have the one thing there that animates and attacks. You got to have more than one. So when they kill the first one, they think when they kill this one, they think that there's a possibility of another one. And if you've truly terrified them with it, then it's possible that they're going to be like, all right, I immediately go attack the next one.
All this,
and they just all fall over.
Well, not only that though, I think it helps defeat some of the metagaming. Like you can randomly move the actual Scarecrow around, or randomly determine whether they're attacking the actual one or not.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I think that one of the issues with 5th edition is it's not an issue as much as it's a point that players are going to metagame. It's the fact that a lot of things that have a disguise ability, there's no check versus it. They just get
to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, they just appear to be that thing.
Yeah.
And
so, because it really what it's setting this monster and say the gargoyle up to do is to be an ambusher. And so if they go to things just like guns blazing, murder hobos, just attacking things that at that point you almost want to embarrassingly describe a lot of stuff to them, so they just attack stuff that is just stuff, like animated objects, constructs. Like sometimes if they're gonna be so retarded about it, all right, fine, let's waste 40 minutes of game time with you.
Oh, totally Robert Jordan that.
Yeah, exactly. And there was elk's heads mounted on the wall, and a foyer.
So your Scarecrow, for a challenge 1, it's got 36 hit points, only an 11 armor class, so they're pretty easy to bring down. But they resist bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magic weapons. And if you've got a low-level party, you're clearly going to be in that spectrum. they're immune to poison, charmed, exhaustion, frightened, paralyzed, poisoned, and unconscious conditions. So there's a lot of stuff that you just aren't going to be able to do to them. But they've also got, the vulnerability against fire. So they've kind of got that.
Somebody's
that
watched The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, they know the deal.
Yeah.
But are they actually evil? They look evil.
Oh, they're chaotic evil.
So they're evil. They're also a construct.
Mm-hmm.
They've been created. So that means that someone had to create them and make them.
Yeah, they are a spirit-powered construct.
So, they've been made by someone. They're evil. So whoever made them are probably evil as well. They're always going to be someplace more than likely for a specific purpose. They do understand the language, although they do not speak it. And they're smart enough to know how to use the terrain or, the Sturges. And the Sturges might have learned to just hang around it because it makes it easier for them to get a meal.
To feast.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like a symbiotic relationship. And actually, I mean, what I would say is you don't necessarily have to make the crafter and the scarecrows be evil. They could be neutral or good, but they're guardians of something. Like this is a place you guys shouldn't be. This is sacred burial ground or something like that. Like, so I mean, you don't necessarily have to make them evil.
Well, no, I mean, with 5th edition, everything is totally in a situation of change whatever you want. I mean, it blatantly says that.
Yeah, well, every edition's like that pretty much. You can change things, but they're giving you the most common is this is evil, and probably something to do with infusing the construct with the spirit.
The Scarecrow is animated by the bound spirit of a slain evil creature, granting it purpose and mobility.
Yeah, so I guess you could find the slain noble creature to throw in there,
or
a good one.
Yeah, like a druid that has it bound to it, like because it obeys the commands. It doesn't necessarily. It could be evil, but obeying the commands of this other being.
So if you've got parties that are your party is traveling across farmland, and they're at the they're out to do naughty to an evil wizard. He could have made scarecrows and scattered them across, the farmland as kind of his watchdogs and guardians.
And they're inactive until he commands them to do something.
I could also see these like being reskinned a little bit, and like they they hang off of trees or off of tree limbs, or maybe they're up on like pikes in like an elven forest. So you make them look less like the stereotypical scarecrow. I mean, still the same materials, like
a wicker man.
Well, yeah, exactly, like a wicker man. But use the exact same statistics, but just like flavored a little.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, anytime you can, make some modifications, and the player's like, oh, I've read the monster manual, but I don't recognize what that is.
Yeah. Anytime you reskin it, and again, like in all those places, that works. Now, that being said, like it doesn't even have to be a scarecrow. We're talking about this. I mean, zombies would work the same way, although they wouldn't know how to tactically use Sturges. Yeah. They would just be an extra threat. Yeah. You could use elementals. Again, they don't have any blood to drink, so and if they don't care about the Sturges have just learned to hang around them.
Could use animated objects as well, and again, the Sturges have kind of learned the pattern that, when people go through here, this stuff that doesn't have blood stops the stuff that does.
When the armor starts attacking the people,
it opens up its drawer and out comes a Sturge.
Yeah. I like the idea of a small swarm of Sturges coming out when the armor goes to attack people with his doors.
When they open,
it's like the bombardier doors, being open. Like,
I honestly, I kind of like the idea of like an animated suit of armor, but maybe it's like large or huge. Yeah, and the faceplate actually opens up and the Sturges start flying out.
Yeah, that's pretty hilarious too.
That'd be an awesome scene.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a combination that you can use for a lot of different things. It's very symbiotic, the relationships, but not necessarily intentional on the different participants' part. Not like our other BFF series that we've done, where they kind of work together and they're aware.
This is more of a happenstance, and they've kind of aware of the pattern, and it just kind of works.
I mean, it's cool because it feels like something that would be like in a nature documentary. Like there's some animals, like there's those fish that clean off the sides of the shark, but they hang with the shark, basically. Yeah.
Oh, and there's also even like the clownfish that are immune to see an enemy's sting that'll actually feed it, and they live in it because it's protected.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So kind of sort of like that. And actually, your Sturges could fly out of this wicker thing too, because they could nest in it.
Yeah, it just kind of ignores them. Yeah. You got Sturges just hanging off the arms of scarecrows all over the place.
It's like, oh, that tickles.
Yeah. They're not doing their job there. That's for sure.
No.
So have we sucked this one dry?
I don't know. Do you think we've scared our viewers away or what?
I think we're good, man.
Yeah.
I think with that, they can tell us in the comments what they think and whether at it. Like, subscribe, share.
You can patronize us in a good way on Patreon if you'd like.
And don't forget to hang out with us on Facebook. Until next time,
Stay nerdy.